Back everyone, welcome back to another week, another edition of the WardiTV Monday number 67, your weekly dose of open StarCraft. I'm of course your live VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the P1 chats and my plushies as well. Welcome one and all. A big shout out to Babylings. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream, hope you had a great ladder session, hope you had a great time. It's been a while, but thank you so much for the raid. We do appreciate it. For those that are maybe tuning in for the first time, this is the WardiTV Monday. This is a weekly open tournament that is taking place on a regular weekly basis. So every single Monday we do have the WardiTV Open Cups. Sometimes we have them twice a week. If Wardy does get front page, he typically does host more of these weeklies to try to catch up and try to take advantage of front page, but otherwise it is on a weekly basis, and we're here to catch up on the 67th week of the WardiTV Monday. Let's go. Let us go. Featuring players like MaxPax, Showtime, Cure, Clem, herO, the best of the best. Typically very high in Protoss and Terran. Again, Zerg representation is quite low when it comes to tournaments. That's the nature of current StarCraft 2, unfortunately, but we do get plenty of PvT. Speaking of, we have our first series of the broadcast. It is going to be a best of 3 between MaxPax and Cure. Now, as a reminder, as a heads up, this is a replay cast from last week's WardiTV Monday. I do apologize for not going live last week, as we didn't actually have the replays for number 66. But now we're here with number 67. The reason why, typically we would cast this live, but due to daylight savings, this does actually start quite late into the night. It starts like in 3 hours time. 3 hours from now is typically when it does begin, and it does typically end at around 4 a.m. my time. Here in Australia, it does end around 4 a.m., which is very, very late, and nowadays I don't really have the luxury to be casting until that time. So previously we would, but in recent times we don't. Maybe once daylight savings hits again, then we could maybe start casting it live again. For the time being though, covering via replays. Big shout out to Wardy for of course providing for that, and here we go. We have our first series of the broadcast, jumping into a PvT between MaxPax and Cure. Game 1 is going to be on Winter Madness. Let's go. Let us go. Now when it comes to our initial PvT here, again, MaxPax has been improving in said matchup. Has been, look, I would say that during the beginning of the patch, in the early weeks, in the early months, was struggling a little bit more. It did take a little bit longer to adapt, but now has done so, and coming into this is one of the favorites to go far in the event. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Denmark, representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. So we are getting into our TVP. Oh boy, and getting into this, I mean, it's a brutal first round matchup in the round 16. To be fair, Cure, MaxPax, some of the best Terran and Protoss players in the world, but random seeding. To be honest, when it comes to Wardy's tournaments, he typically seeds only the top four from the previous week. So if you didn't make it that far, then random seeding does apply. So these big names can hit early on. It is a little bit bad for the players, but better for the viewers as we get some high-profile matches earlier in the tournament. It's not unlikely to see players like Clem, like MaxPax face earlier in the tournament instead of later. We're seeing that here. For now though, we do have our initial eBay block. So Cure does open up with a cheeky opener here, and MaxPax is late to check the low ground. So a nice setup here from Cure. The initial probe scout did miss the SCV, and MaxPax will be forced to expand elsewhere. Now specifically on Winter Madness, this is brutal because Cure should be SCV blocking here at the triangular third base, which should force MaxPax to expand on the low ground. Yep, the SCV is spotted, the base in position, and MaxPax is forced to expand in a very brutal position here. Defending on the low ground, defending this as a natural is insanely difficult, and this is something unique to maps like Winter Madness. The other map that comes to mind is, I almost said Royal Blood. Old Republic. The other map is Old Republic, which also has a very similar feature where the other optional third base is very exposed due to it being on the low ground. So already a really nice start, and typically this leads into a 2-base all-in for the Terran player to take advantage of how exposed the Protoss is on the low ground. Now wanting it back, Cure opts to go for not the factory, he goes for the CC before factory. So he had the option to go for a second gas geyser and go for a factory and go for, say, early Cyclone or reactored Hellion. He opts not to. So this is a more economic follow-up out of Cure. It means that MaxPax will have time to stabilize, to build up on 2 bases, but it's still going to be a very awkward defense. And again, we're not out of the woods yet, so there's still a high chance that Cure does turn this into an all-in. Meanwhile, we'll see the tech of choice here from MaxPax going for the Twilight Council, not the Stargate. It is not uncommon for a Protoss player to be in this position and go for a Stargate opener. The reasoning for this is because the area to traverse between your exposed natural and your main base is quite short by air, so you can kind of traverse back and forth and have that kind of defense. But here MaxPax going for a Twilight Council going into Blink. So a Blink-based follow-up here to MaxPax. Does set up behind this Cure going for a 1-1-1. There's no faster second rack, so no rush into Stim. No early bio timing, just going for the drop. And we'll see what he can get done. I stand in the chat, Pappy. What do you think's gonna predict what's gonna happen first? MaxPax showing his face or Light wearing pants? Oh no. It'll never happen, Pappy. It'll never happen. Ay, ay, ay. MaxPax breaks in. So far playing it safe here, going for a second gateway, going for a rover before third. We should be seeing a third gateway as well into Blink. The Reaper does slip by, does come in for the scouts. Gets behind the mineral line. Oh, does attempt to. And we'll be able to hear again, lost mine time here for MaxPax, and we get a full scout of the tech of the Twilight Council. Secure, he's aware that Blink is on the way. Behind this, tank production has begun, so did open up initially with the Widow Mine, but only one. So no major commitment, was able to go into a faster tech lab, faster tank production. Adept is dealt with. And we can see MaxPax doing whatever he can here to get eyes on the drop. To get eyes on the move out, or even to punish the move out. Stalker's moving up, getting caught out. So far he zones away. Meanwhile, MaxPax is indeed going for that third gateway. Did I say third gateway? Sorry, he's going into 4 gates. So 4-gate Blink Stalker, a much more aggressive follow-up here. This does make sense. What is the best defense? A strong offense. So the goal here should be for MaxPax to apply pressure and to keep Cure at home instead of allowing him to move out. So I do like this response out of MaxPax. Going for the 4-gate. Stalker's moving up. The Prism has arrived. He can warp in 4 Stalkers at a time. Now, if he warps in across the map, he won't have a defensive warp in. Bear that in mind. He's not aware of the drop. He's not aware. Prism does siege, warps in 2 Stalkers, 3, 4, no warp-ins left. No warp-ins left, so the medevac has yet to pull the trigger though. As Cure is unaware. No bunker. Oh yeah, no bunker on the low ground. Stalkers, they can get behind the mineral line. Pick up a couple of SCVs. Drop comes in. I believe now there's a warp-in. Yeah, warp-ins are available. 2 Stalkers move in, and there's a recall. Okay, does recall back home. No major damage yet. Oh, the retargeting, okay. Nice retargeting, gets 1 Stalker. Army is cleaned up, but hey, 5 probe kills, forces the recall, and in total, Cure he defends. So we have a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, yes, MaxPax, he didn't sustain too much damage, but that's still 5 probes. And more importantly, due to the recall, I mean, now there's no more pressure here on Cure. Remember, MaxPax, he went for a 4 gate. This is a late third. This is a very late third base for MaxPax because of the extra gateways and because of the extra warp ins. He made all this army, and so far, he hasn't achieved anything with it. So I'll take Cure's in a better position. The pressure's on MaxPax. Now, thankfully, he retained the army, and he saw his potential here. So he moves out, and he can potentially dive into the main base, pick up some add-ons. Observer does get sniped. Nice spread here of tanks. The add-ons are somewhat exposed, but there are marauders in position. And you can see MaxPax looking for a way in. Prism towards the natural. And we'll pick up 2 SCVs. It's some damage. Gets a Marine as well. 2 SCVs a Marine, bearing in mind that Cure should be stuck at home until Stim finishes. So we're just waiting for the upgrades. Stim is almost done, Combat Shield's almost done. Once this finishes up, then Cure can move out. So we'll soon be pushing. Storm has just now begun. It's being chronoed as we speak. Here comes the drop. Oh, actually trying to come in from behind. Okay. Ideally, Cure can bait out the blink and flank the army. Speaking of, he has eyes on the tank. Gets 1 tank. Blinks away. Yeah, it does blink away. Here comes a flank as well. Cure a little bit late to Stim though. Oh no, it's not done! Yeah, Stim is not ready. That was barely mistimed. Stim just now finishing up, what, 3-4 seconds too late? He had the setup. Stalkers, they get away. And that was clutch from MaxPax. You got a tank. You got a free tank, essentially. Pulled all the way back home. Storm is now complete. Storm is ready. And we'll see how they engage. It's going to come down to the storms. Likewise, it'll come down to whether or not Cure can protect those 2 tanks. Army gets spotted. MaxPax responds. Here comes our first storm. Ooh, and does connect. Yeah, brutal connection. Army is immediately softened up. At the same time as Zealot counterattack, thankfully there are some reinforcements. Cure, he reacts well. Cleans up the Zealots. But there's still 2 storms left. Sorry, 3. Jesus. 3 storms left. Oh, we'll take a storm to the face. Oh, does do a lot of damage. Does pick up the High Templar. But again, the army is low. Stims are limited. Like, stimming once, then getting stormed would be the end of this. So Cure, he retreats. It's a good call. He has to back up, and MaxPax successfully defends, and now we can build up into the mid game. Okay, so despite the awkward opener in MaxPax, he successfully defended. He was able to apply pressure, get across the map, get his 4th base up and running. MaxPax has gotten over the first hurdle. And now Cure is forced to expand. 3rd TC is now complete, so now he has to take his 3rd base, build up on 3 bases, and take up in towards Ghosts, Liberators. Again, embrace that mid game. Now MaxPax has gained map control. Colossi are on the way, and Cure is stuck at home. At this point, he's stuck at home. The worst thing that MaxPax would do, though, is to try to break this position. He's going for it. Bold move. I mean, that is a lot of storms, true. He's got, what, 5 High Templar? Jesus. He's got 5 storms. There's the first. But again, MaxPax doesn't have to break this position. It would be, I feel like, an overextension, a mistake if he tried to break this. Like, poke in, pull away. Just ensure that Cure doesn't get a 4th base, while MaxPax gets his own 4th and a 5th. So no need to go in. Zealots attempt to distract. Army was in position. Ooh, Prism goes down. A nice defense out of Cure. Shows EPs. Oh, doesn't quite land. Does land, actually. EP lands barely in time as the ghost goes down. The harassing storms. Let's go. Now, something that's allowing MaxPax to do this is we don't really have much SimCity here. There's no sensor tower, there's no depots, there's no bunker. So this position is quite accessible, I will say. Whether it's the entrance here towards the left, whether it's the ramp on the right. So MaxPax was able to poke in, but again, didn't overextend. Meanwhile, Kira getting his fourth. If Kira can get his fourth base up running, he can max out with a superior army. So that's going to be a scary moment here for MaxPax. It is Winter Madness. This is one of the easier maps to actually stabilize on 4 bases. And Kira, he's almost there. MaxPax getting his 5th. Getting his 5th base. MaxPax will be the first to max out. Again, MaxPax has the greater economy. He has the larger army. But as you mentioned before, pushing into these entrenched positions is not going to be easy for MaxPax. Oh, once again, though, thankfully we are lacking some SimCity here, so Zealots are going to have an easier time breaking through. And MaxPax with his Archons is just going to try to break through. He's just going to overwhelm. That's the plan, at least. Just to brute force his way through the front lines. Curie's out of position. Army moves in. Shows EMPs. Ooh, 2 ghosts go down. The only 1 EMP, 3 ghosts go down. Massive losses for Cure already. Yeah, massive losses. Archons are making their way through. Plenty of storms left over. No Zealots though. Oh god, the storms. As that was the final storm. And MaxPax does he have enough? Yeah, nice arc here from Cure. Takes down 2 of the Colossus. 1 Colossus left. The Zealots. With Zealot reinforcements, looks like MaxPax, he barely breaks through the main army. Breaks into the natural as well. Again, with those Archons, with those Zealots, he was able to break through. Cure is out of position. GG gets called. And MaxPax, he will take game number 1. GG. Again, it was very unfortunate here. Cure's army was over towards the 4th base. He didn't know where the army of MaxPax was. So Cure, he was out of position. And if you remember, what were the first things to go down for Cure? 3 ghosts. 3 ghosts went down for 1 EMP. So a brutal start to the fight. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Again, Cure, he did have some holes in his defense. If he was able to successfully defend, get up to 4 bases and max out, then Cure would have had the advantage, but he wasn't able to get there. He barely wasn't. MaxPax able to find a hole in the armor. Once again, unfortunately, Cure didn't see MaxPax's army, didn't see his rotation, so he wasn't quite in position to defend against that push on the right-hand side. Mentioned earlier that there were some openings when it came to the entrance outside the natural, when it came to the entrance at the 3rd base, so Cure, he just kind of gambled a little bit with his army positioning. GG. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax takes a lead, and now we're loading into game number 2. Going to be loading into Tourmaline. Let's go. Let us go. The pants were down. They were down, Bobby. They were down. No. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Danish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Storm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran, the Blue Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. And again, I did really appreciate MaxPax's response to his awkward setup. Remember, MaxPax, he was forced to expand at the unnatural natural on Winter Madness of all maps. How did he respond? 4-gate blink, right? 4-gate blink, hyper aggression, so he was able to contain Cure. Yes, he was forced to recall back home, but he was able to actually gain map control, deflect against the first wave. That first move out from Cure was kind of a pivotal moment. There were a couple of key moments as well that did go MaxPax's way. I'm referring to the sim timing. Remember, Stim finished up a couple of seconds too late, so Cure wasn't able to catch out those stalkers. Likewise, when Cure pushed, he got spotted, so MaxPax was able to respond in time. Storm was ready as well, so in the end, MaxPax was able to keep up and then overwhelm Cure. GG. GG, well played. Once again, Cure going for the eBay block on the low ground, and we'll see when MaxPax confirms the eBay. Oh boy. Now, welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a much smaller map of the map pool, a much more aggressive map as well. All-ins are much more favored, and I'm expecting an all-in out of Cure. If you remember, I expected one out of Cure last game on Winter Madness, just because of the opener, but he chose to go for an economic follow-up instead. We'll see what he goes for this time, because once again, he will force the unnatural natural out of Max. You can see Cure, he does SCV block here on the triangular third, and he will force the linear third base, which is on the low ground. Now, when it comes to all-ins and aggressive builds, the reason why this is difficult to defend for Max is because Cure will have the high ground advantage when he pushes. He'll be able to take control of this ramp and have the high ground advantage against the base, or even cut off the natural from the main. So this is going to be a pivotal location here if Cure were to be hyper aggressive. For now, Cure, once again, that's a CC before factory, so economic follow-up, just like last game. Again, we'll see if Cure tries to be more aggressive this time. I would hope so, especially on Tourmaline. It would make sense. Likewise, it would also make sense if Max went for the same response and went 4-gate blink. Oh no. See, chat, nice. You're playing a time for chaos and unpredictability. we'll get to herO at some point. We'll get there. Oh, God, what is happening? Hold on. I need to get around to trying to fix this. For those that are curious, the YouTube stream went down. Again, it's happened 3 times now. It's happened 3 times. Feels bad, man. So I'm just trying to get the YouTube stream up and running. God, like I don't know what to do. Sorry, just a little bit distracted. P1. Yeah, connection to YouTube has just been really shaky over the past week. Basically, every time we go live on YouTube, it just dies on us. Okay. As Cure, he once again went for the same build. He went for the same Marine Wood Mine follow-up. Went for the drop. And so far tonight, mining time with the help of Blink, though, Max actually shut this down. And once again, 4-gate Blink. So as we had assumed would occur, 4-gate Blink out of Max, Cure going for the same build, but this time he will pull the boys. Cure rallying everything across the map, and we're going for a base trade. Okay, we have the base trade. Max gets across the map. He will cripple the economy. At the same time, there's a recall back home, realizing, of course, that there is very little at home to defend, and the army's coming his way. Cure is trying to get on top of the high ground. So this time, Cure did go for the all-in. Trying to get within range of the robo. That is Nartosis pylon, and the pylon is being targeted down. Storks they blink forward. They get 1 tank. He gets 1. He gets 2. Oh, he gets both tanks, and with that, the pylon will survive. The immortal pops out. The shield battery is still up and running as well, and Cure the all-in is failing. Again, Max going for the 4-gate Blink just like last game. I think is a really good reaction and response to this build. GG gets called, and Max who will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Max. He will claim the series. Oh. I do apologize for being a little bit distracted, but the YouTube stream went down. For those that don't know, we're live on multiple platforms at once, and the stream on YouTube went down, and it's been happening very consistently, where specifically the YouTube stream has been dying on us, which is annoying. It's very annoying and very, very sad, considering that we get most of our viewership on YouTube, right? Like, it's like, Pappy. Why are you hurting us, Pappy? Why are you hurting us? So, GG, well played. With that, Max will claim the series to 0. Winding it back a little bit here, Cure, he went for the same build. He went for the same 1-1-1 follow-up after the eBay block into the Marine Widowmine drop into the main base, but this time he pulled the boys. This time he pulled the boys and he committed with everything. Meanwhile, Max went for the same build. After being forced into an awkward position, he went for 4 Gapeling Stalker. So hyper aggressive there, and with that, he, as a result, had enough of an army to shut down the all-in. So we saw this in both scenarios in both games. It feels like Max's go-to response when being forced to expand in a really awkward position to try to shut down any kind of aggressive build that might come his way. GG. GG, well played. So it was almost like a hard counter, like a build order win from Max just because of his reaction and his response. And with that, Max will advance on into the quarterfinals. GG. Meanwhile, my condolences to Cure. Again, game 1 was very clutch, was very close. Game 2 was more one-sided, was a lot more clean there, and was more of what Max was hoping out of Cure from the first game. There we go. Here we go. We're now getting ready for our next series. We're going to be heading over to the quarterfinals, and we have another TVP, and expect a lot of TVPs tonight. That's typically how these Open Cups go. It is going to be a best of 3 between Showtime and Gumiho. Let's go. If you recall, I did mention this during KSL, how Gumiho has been less active as of late. He's been less active, has been playing and competing less as well. So it was exciting to see Gumiho during the weekend, during the Korean StarCraft League, and we'll see how he fares against Showtime. Vamonos. We shall see. Don't even remember if you can pick a YouTube server. Sounds like the show one's worked. Yeah, I think we have to change restream servers. I'll have to like set a reminder to do that before the next stream. There you go. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic. Of the Old Republic, we have the German Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Sentinels. It is Showtime. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran. It is Gumiho. Here we go. Again, Gumiho is always a lot of fun, always a treat to watch, a treat to experience. Gumiho, he often comes up with his own builds, his own style of play. He is not afraid to mech it up against Protoss, even when it's out of meta. Obviously, earlier this year, everyone was playing mech against Protoss. Clem, Maru, even Byan and Cure as well. This is before the patch and before the change and fix of the Cyclone, of course, as battle mech was all the craze. But even before that, and even currently, Gumiho does enjoy mixing it in, and we'll see if he does so in this series. I wouldn't be surprised if he does it once. Would not be surprised. For now, though, is going to be an economic opener. Single gas out of Gumiho, going for a Rax expand. A nice change of pace, considering Cure did non-stop eBay block, but this time, no eBay block out of Gumiho. So no block here across the map. As a result, Showtime is in position to delay the CC. He'll force the second SCV down to the low ground and force some inefficiencies out of Gumiho. So a slightly better start for Showtime, as there's a command center now on the way. When it comes to Gumiho's setup, he will skip his Reaper, so no SCV Scout, no Reaper Scout, going Marine first. This is very common amongst the Korean Terrans. They do often enjoy skipping scouting in PvT in the early game. They should be checking nearby proxy locations, but outside of that, they're going to be playing blind. As there's very little that can really surprise, especially if they do play it safe from here. Into Cyclone. Gumiho does check the nearby locations. And Gumiho is assuming a standard opener, meaning Twilight Council, not Stargate. Technically, Showtime can try to take advantage of the lack of scouting, lack of vision of Gumiho, and go for something more unorthodox. but Showtime isn't really that kind of player. So again, it's a little bit more calculated against Showtime, as he's known for standard play. There we go. Twilight Council opener. Into Blink. Is that hero played already? No. This is the beginning of the stream. I do apologize. The stream went down earlier, but hero should be playing later tonight. This west, maybe this west. As we are still in the quarterfinals. Oh, this is different. Okay, not going to Blink, but we have a charge opener instead at a Showtime. Going into early Zell legs. Now, this is ideal if you believe that your opponent's going to be aggressive. If your opponent's being aggressive and especially going for an early tank push, charge is going to be a hard counter to just shut that down completely. Speaking of aggression, just a 1-1-1 marine drop into the bio follow-up. Everything's looking relatively normal here from Gumiho. Tech labs are on the way. I say relatively normal, interesting. So typically we'd see the add-on swap into tank production, but here we have add-on swap into early stim. So early stim and delayed tanks instead. So very early stim by Gumiho. Cyclone moves out on the right hand side. Marine drop into the natural. Oh, barely seen though. It's within range. Within vision. Marines, they slip in. Showtime, good reaction. Does pull away. Pulls away in time. Ooh, doesn't lose the Stalker. And zones away Gumiho. So far, a nice defense by Showtime. I believe the hallucination got in. Yep, Showtime, he saw that Stim was already being researched. He's aware. He's aware of the early Stim timing. The early stim. Gumiho building up his bio. From here, Gumiho may pull the boys. He may, oh, actually, never mind. I was gonna say he may just pull the boys with this and go for a 2-base all in, but +1 did just begin. This tells us that we're going for a later timing. Okay. So from here, Showtime's building up. The early charge didn't really come into play. As I mentioned before, Showtime was hoping that Gumiho would be more aggressive. But Gumiho just going for drop play. Just going for the drops. Showtime is taking up, going for the bait, taking extra gases, building up into Colossus. Here comes a mass on siege. Gumiho is pushing. +1 should finish up in the middle of the fight. And does he pull the boys? Now knocking down those rocks. His camera keeps panning back to his natural. There it is. He does pull the boys. A 2-base all in. The boys are being pulled. Again, this will barely hit with +1. And Showtime, he doesn't see this. Showtime, he doesn't see this move out. No observers in position. The observer just now moving out. He needs as many warpins as possible. Ideally, he wants to engage at a time. Army gets spotted. Showtime trying to set up. Go for the medevac. Ooh, doesn't get it. Nice force fields. Ideally, you want to cut the army in half here, but does, despite that, hold the tide. Buying time, slowing this down. Tanks are pushing forward. Showtime setting up for a flank. Yeah, he's going straight for the tanks. Colossus has arrived as well. He gets one. Gets one of the tanks. There's still 2 left. Oh, barely doesn't break through though. It doesn't get on top of the tanks. The 3rd base is going to go down, and Gumiho is breaking through. He's still got his 2 tanks left. He's also trying to catch reinforcements. Gumiho pushing further into the main. He's pushing further in. Remember, Gumiho is completely all in. He has to end the game here and now. Showtime is trying to engage. And he will. Yeah, Showtime is going to clean this up. Again, Gumiho's army split in half. These Marines are attacking buildings. They're not helping that. Yeah, they're not helping. Tanks go down, and Gumiho's going to be completely cleaned up. Ay, ay, ay. Again, he killed the Cyber Core, killed the Gateway. But Showtime, he can warp in Zealots anyway. Just reinforce with charge lots. That's all he needs. And here comes Gumiho's second wave. He's down to 2 tanks. 2 tanks left. He did retain most of his Marines, though. That's a hefty amount of bio. It's 41 Marines. Tanks, they do not target fire. Yeah, they don't focus on the Colossus. Showtime once again peeling off with a flank. Going a little bit too soon. A little bit missed time there from Showtime. Showtime pulls away. Moves to the center. He does spot all 3 tanks with the Observer. Oh, Observer gets spotted. And remember, Gumiho, there's no expansion, right? There's no third base. There's no expansion. He may pull the Voice for a second time. Yeah, let's go. he'll pull the Voice for a second time. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. He has built up to 4 tanks. Okay. It's a lot of tanks. If he can get within range of the base, then he can break the army, depending on the setup. Next stage is 4. Tanks are sieging up on the low ground. Nice positioning. They turn back the main army. Well, they get one of the tanks. Another tank just rallies. Sorry, another Colossus just rallies in. Yeah, miss rally at a Showtime. Losing 2 Colossus. And he needs more Zealots. He needs more time. Wait, did he ever rebuild the Cyber Core? He did, okay. I was curious. Did rebuild the Cyber Core, not diving on the army. Gets the first 2 tanks. What about the others? Does take down all the medevacs. Sorry, all the Vikings. 1 Viking left. Blinks forward. There's 1 tank remaining, and barely the tank will go down. There's 1 Viking left. GG gets called. Showtime, he defends, and Showtime takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A hyper-aggressive build here by Gumiho, going for early stim and going for that +1 timing, and everything was looking decent for Gumiho. He wasn't seen, he wasn't scattered, he got across the map, he was able to get within range of the third base, he killed the third base as well. But the moment that Gumiho lost momentum was when he loaded up, and when he dropped 2 to 3 full medevacs into the main base. He split his army in half, and that was the moment that Showtime could take advantage of that and collapse on the tanks. He collapsed on the tanks, killed the first 2 tanks, and broke the army. It broke that position for Gumiho, and with that he did lose all the momentum that he had. He did have that second wave and that second all-in towards the end of the game, but again it was significantly weaker. He had a decent tank position and he was able to get 2 free Colossus, but that still was not enough. GG. GG, well played. With that, Showtime takes a lead, and now we're loading into game number 2, loading into Tourmaline. Let's go. Let us go. There's that weird elevator. If you're referring to the elevator into the main base, that's the moment that I'm referring to. That's the moment where Gumiho kind of lost control of his army and lost control of his position. That was the moment that Showtime kind of swung everything back in his favor. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the German Protoss player, the Red Protoss. For Sentinels, it is Showtime. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran. It is Gumiho. Here we go. As welcome once again to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is one of the, if not the smallest map in the map pool. Short rush distance by ground. Aggression is heavily favored on Tourmaline, and we'll see who is going to be aggressive. If you recall, last time we had a TVP here was Cure versus MaxMax, and Cure did go for a 2-base all-in, but MaxMax went for a 4-gate blink opener and completely shut him down, essentially hard countering him. We'll see if Showtime is tempted to also go 4-gate blink here. I do see the value behind it. I see the logic behind going 4-gate blink, just because aggression is so common on this map. But it's also Showtime. Like, is he really one that dabbles in 4-gate blink Stalker? Not really. So this is where I'm a little bit more concerned for the German Protoss. But now, double gas. Double gas opener out of Gumiho for the first time this series. Wait, for the first time this broadcast, actually. Double gas opener, going for a faster factory, going for a delayed command center, a much more tech-heavy start out of Gumiho. Technically, this could even turn into a 1-base all-in, which I typically don't bring up, but specifically Gumiho does 1-base all-in from time to time. So we'll keep an eye on the Terran. And Gumiho, he's crazy enough to throw down the starport. He's an animal. Or even a second Rax. As the initial Reaper moves out, Gumiho, he will miss the probe. So Showtime coming back in for the rescout. And he will spot the SCV. There is going to be CC on the low ground, so it's going to be command center after factory. Not a 1-base all-in. As the Reaper attempts to get into the main. Attempts to get in. It is going to be initially Reaper Hellion. Second Reaper has arrived. Hellions are on the way. Now going for the starport. This early game setup, we'll see how hard we commit into additional Hellions and Reapers. So far, just 2 Reapers. Nothing major. And we're switching into Widow Mines. So Gumiho setting up for the drop. Showtime does fight for map control. And this once again is going into Blink. And I mean, I say Blink. Last game did go for early Twilight Council into Charge, expecting early aggression. Didn't really get there. We could see Charge again here. That would be an alternate way to have a really safe opener here on Tourmaline. This time it's going to be Blink. So Blink is on the way. So far there are 2 gateways, one in the main base, one in the natural. We'll see if it goes up to 3 or 4 gateways. 3 gate is safe, 4 gate is aggressive. There's the 3rd gateway. There's the Robo. So far, safe opener. As Showtime is going to be delaying his 3rd base in favor of the Robo, in favor of the gateway. Getting an extra gas geyser. And we'll see if Showtime can keep up. We have a Reaper Hellion on the right. And we have the drop on the left. So far, the main army responds to the drop. Medevac is going to be focused down. Nice pick up. Up! As Medevac will barely get away. Just getting 1 probe. 2nd probe goes down. Decent defense here by Showtime. Reapers now they go into the main base, but this is too late. Yeah, the Reapers are too late. Ideally, want the Reapers to go in as the drop is happening, but alas, happened after the drop. And Showtime defends. Showtime, he defends well. Once again, early stim out of Gumiho. This is looking similar here to last game. Early stim, tank production. This time there was no Cyclone, right? Yeah, no Cyclone. We may see Gumiho pull the boys on 2 bases. In my mind, this will be an earlier timing, just because, if you remember, last game, it was a little bit more delayed because Gumiho was waiting for +1. This time, there's no eBay. There's no eBay, there's no +1. Yep, boys are being pulled, a 2-base all-in. This is hitting faster than last game. But stim is not ready yet. Yeah, there is no stim. Showtime already slowing this down. Oh, gets a Reaper. Picks up the Reaper. Gets a Marine. Hasn't lost a Stalker yet. Gets another Reaper, no KDA charges. The real money shot here is going to be a tank though. Ooh, as one Stalker goes down. Nice stab in the Observer. Again, Showtime just slowing this down. Diving. Oh no, he gets a tank! Gets the tank and the medevac and the second tank. GG gets called, and Showtime, he will take the series 2-0. He will advance on to the semi-finals. GG. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. That was so unfortunate. So basically what happened, Gumiho was trying to be fancy. Gumiho assumed that his tank was going to be targeted, so he picked the tank up with his medevac to waste the shot. If you're able to time it correctly and pick up the tank, the Stalker volleys go off and they don't hit anything because they target the tank, and the tank is not there. So that was the goal there. But unfortunately, he picked up the tank, and Showtime didn't target the tank. He targeted the medevac, and he got both. He got both the tank and the medevac, and then the next tank, and that was game. That was game, and then and there. GG, well played. Some attempted fancy moves there by Gumiho, but did fall on its face. And again, thankfully for Showtime, he was able to go for a safe build, going for 3-gate blink into 2-base play, into a delayed third, and also able to engage ahead of time and slow down the push as soon as it left. Right, as soon as Gumiho left his natural, Showtime was there to slow it down, to pick away the Marines, the Reapers, and eventually the tanks as well. GG. GG, well played. So with that, congratulations, Showtime. You will claim the series 2-0. And we have our semi-finalists. Let us go. It is going to be Showtime versus herO in a PvP, and we have Classic versus Clem in a PvT. Oh boy. So they have a top 4. This also tells us that Max did go down in the quarterfinals. We didn't get to see those games. Unfortunately, it looks like Wardy didn't cast those games, so I don't really know what transpired there. We can maybe go over the bracket after we wrap up the broadcast. But he was knocked out earlier. Here we go. As we follow Showtime into his semis. Into the PvP. Here we go. Alright, so we have our PvP. We're going to be taking a break from the non-stop Terran versus Protoss, and we have a mirror matchup instead. PvP, Vamonos. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the blue Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. We have the German Protoss representing Sentinels. It is Showtime. Here we go. And also, I just realized what the emote was in the chat. I noticed the wall, but I thought nothing of it. But that's the Take TV wall. That's Showtime. That's Devour badge. Devour. Este Showtime. I would hope that that Take TV have like an emote for like each of the big German players. So like a Showtime emote, a Gabe emote, and a Lambert emote. I feel like they'd be very fitting. Hopefully they do. Hopefully. I appreciate it nonetheless. The big 3. Until then, we have our initial openers. So far, so good. As herO opening up with a singular gateway. Okay, so 2-gate opener out of Showtime, and meanwhile herO cutting corners, going for a gate cyber expand. So herO is going for a bit of a cheekier start, and we'll see if herO can get away with a more economic build. Wait, is Showtime not he's not? No probe scout. Showtime, not like this. No probe scout at Showtime. That is crazy, especially against herO. Like herO, he's known for being hyper aggressive, hyper cheesy, cutting corners, being greedy as well. Like herO, he's known for this. And for Showtime not to probe scout in a PvP means that he sees nothing. He doesn't know whether or not herO is being aggressive or what we're seeing here, being greedy. So Zealot first, just to make sure it doesn't get pylon blocked. Cancel the Zealot. Nexus is on the way. So again, this is a hyper greedy build by herO. He skips his second gateway. He skips any units, going straight for the Cybercore, straight for the Nexus. So herO is going to have a more economic start. The pressure is going to be on Showtime to be aggressive. Showtime going for 2-gate into a Robo on 1 base. Showtime may be forced into an all-in. This build here that Showtime is going for is designed to hard counter a proxy. So Showtime, he might be assuming that herO is going for a proxy robo or a proxy gateway and going for a one base all in. If that's happening, Showtime can just hard counter. But because herO is going for an economic build, Showtime needs to turn this into an all in instead with immortal production and just commit. And again, Showtime still doesn't know, right? He still hasn't seen anything. Now, the longer this goes on, Showtime is going to recognize that, hold up, there's nothing really applying any pressure. There's nothing here. Adepts are now moving out. He spots the hallucination. That's already a tell. So, Sentry-based opener. Showtime is moving in. It's going to be Prism first. Here, he scouts the one-base robo setup. And again, this should be an all-in from Showtime. And we'll see if herO can survive. Adepts, they move in, they confirm. They see the base is already done. It's already complete. Showtime knows. No shot he expands. No shot. Prism moves out. He's banking resources. Oof. Showtime looks like he will get a Nexus. Yeah, he's getting a Nexus here, so Showtime, he will play from behind. Very late base in comparison to herO. But again, it was a late scout as well. The gamba, baby, the gamba. No, is YouTube down again? Ah, really? God. That actually hurts, like that. Again, we get all of our viewership on YouTube. Feels bad, man. Nice catch in the Stalker, nice catch in the Adept. But YouTube went down for the second time. I'll try to fix it. They do dip into the main. So find nice damage, getting 3 probe kills. And remember, the pressure is on Showtime, right? The pressure is on Showtime. Wait, but we have quite a few about these. It makes sense. That's Take TV, man. It's Take TV. But I do apologize, but the YouTube stream went down for the second time tonight, and hopefully that stops. But clearly we will have to use a different server. Clearly something is wrong. As has been happening all week. All week, papi. Smurge, smurge. Another. Showtime does move out. Again, Showtime is committed. As we mentioned from the beginning of the game, like Showtime's been playing from behind. Means they go further into the main base, getting more probe kills, but it comes down to the main army, it comes down to the main push. Blink is going to finish in time, so Showtime is going to have Blink over herO. herO back at home, he has shield batteries, he has 2 immortals, he has force fields. Can herO hold? Can he survive? Can he survive the all-in? A little bit chaotic with the force fields. Yeah, a little bit chaotic. Yeah, Here he's got his 3 immortals. The first one does get caught out. There's no prism. Yeah, there's no prism. Immortal goes down. Speaker had a showtime. Hero's banking resources, by the way. There we go. Obviously, for the observer. Nice rotation by Showtime, getting himself the pylon. Ooh, miscontrol though. He moves in. Yeah, move command at Showtime. He lost 2 stalkers in the process. He lost 2 stalkers. Hero diving in. A bit of an awkward engagement here by Hero. And now he's fighting without shield batteries. Yeah, no shield batteries with them all to get focused down one after the other. The prism is too late. And Showtime, does he have enough? He does not. He barely doesn't have enough. GG gets called. The 2-base all-in fails. And Hero, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Hero, he will take a lead in the series. Again, a bit of an awkward defense there from Hero. We saw some inefficiencies, some rough engagements there, but overall, the longer the game went on, the better it was for Hero, bearing in mind that Hero had the better economy and the larger army for the majority of the game. It was just a really rough start for Showtime. Winding it back, I do feel like Showtime did gamble. He was hoping, I want to say that Showtime was hoping that Hero would be going for an aggressive build. The last thing he was thinking was that Hero was going to be greedy. Here he went for a very, very greedy, very economic opener, so Showtime was playing from behind and was forced into a 2-base all-in. It's forced into the all-in. GG, well played. Now we're loading into game number 2, and I would imagine that this time Showtime is going to probe scout. I feel like he has to, but we'll see. We shall see as we're loading into Tourmaline, a very small map, very aggressive map in the map pool. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss leading the series 1-0, representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. We have the German Protoss representing Sentinels. It is showtime. Go. We might actually, so this week we have a couple of days off for personal reasons, which we can get into later, but technically we might decide to restream only on YouTube some of the VODs that just didn't get to stream on YouTube properly, like this stream and the last 2 streams as well. Like, again, it's been 3 streams so far where the YouTube stream has been cutting out, so we may just run it back. May just do it. That might be the best thing to do. For now though, herO, he does send out his probe to the right hand side, setting up what looks to be a proxy pylon. This time 2-gate opener out of herO, 2-gate opener out of Showtime. This time Showtime's actually going to scout. Makes sense after what happened in the first games. Oh, I spoke too soon. Proxy Robo out of Showtime, Proxy Stargate out of herO. We're both going for proxies, but very different positions here. Based on the central location of Showtime's pylon, this looks like a Robo into a 1-base all-in. Based on the fringe location of herO, this could be a Stargate. What's it going to be? Robo or Stargate? herO's is more up in the air. Yeah, Stargate. So again, close rush distance by air. So proxy Stargate into Oracle. This is not an all-in. This is a way to get ahead economically, which means herO's going to have a really rough defense against Showtime's actual 1-base all-in. Oh boy. Now, the scary thing for herO is that this is a big investment going for the Stargate, and this should be for an Oracle to harass in the main base. If the Oracle fails to get damage done, then how does herO make use of this defensively? If the Stargate was back at home, he could make Void Rays, right? That's what Max does. He often goes for a Stargate opener into defensive Void Rays, but Void Rays reinforcing from across the map, they won't really help too much defensively against an all-in. So the proxy is going to be hurting herO more than anything if he fails to get damage done. Showtime didn't probe scout. He didn't get in. Did not get in. herO, meanwhile, he will pass by the proxy. Here he sees nothing in the center. Adepts are moving out. Safe to in the shade. Go initiate into the bases. Oracle goes in. The shield battery is not ready. They score with this pants down. The pants are down. Probes are pulling left and right. Critical damage in the main. And Showtime, he was already all in, but now he has a stifled economy. Now it's a weaker all in. So far, so good. Getting 9 probes in the main. The Oracle does get away. Oh my god, jeez. Does get away. The Oracle pulls out. And here, he should have scouted the lack of anything. Right? The lack of buildings here. Back at home. Here, no shot. Now's not the time. Here he's expanding. He misreads. Here he didn't realize. He's seen everything he needs to. He sees lack of tech. He sees lack of expansion. He should not take a base. And there we go. Robo is finishing up, thankfully. Pylon in the main. Oracle just checked the natural. Hero's racing back home. And here he needs defensive warp-ins. There's a revelation. You're going for a third gateway. There's the energy overcharge. And remember, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Hero. So Showtime has to end the game soon. He's now rallying. As we mentioned, again, this Stargate is not helping defensively, so here he had to make the Robo. Immortal's on the way. He has his own Prism. He has his own micro potential. Here he gets into the main, going for the stasis. Nice force field, but last we have the counter micro. Showtime pulls away. I just get 3 probes caught in the stasis trap though. 3 workers get caught. Hero doesn't break out. Oh, setting up for the flank actually, okay. Elevators down to low ground. They're trying to collapse in the army. Ooh, Prism gets sniped. And here he has no counter micro here. The Hero to lose the Immortal. The Immortal goes down. The main army as well. Showtime, he should come out on top here. Ooh, he should, but never mind. The army's just too low. None of it. No! Make room! Make room! Oh my god. Thank god. Did leave the Stalker to die. He had to. Meanwhile, another massive stasis in the main base. Showtime, he was distracted. He was hyper-fixated here on the main army. The Immortal barely survived on 3 HP. But again, this is impacting the reinforcements from Showtime. It's impacting his warp-ins. As here he can engage out in the open. Here he has no Prism himself. The stasis in the main. This time Showtime's paying attention. This time he reacts. The one hero Oracle. He made it worth it. The proxy Stargate. It was worth it, Pappy. Speaking of Oracle back in. Showtime diving into the main and barely will make it through. Whew. Does make a pass. And to warp in back at home. When here he wants to Prism. No, he's gonna get it! The Prism goes down. Massive pickoff. Prism goes down. The Immortals are abandoned. Goes to the recall and he will take all damage. He'll lose 1 Immortal. Massive pickoff. Massive catch for Hero. Ay, ay, ay. Again, it was a bold move for Showtime to go for the Immortal drop. To lose both Immortals. Here he breaks out across map. The Observer does confirm. And Showtime's best option, base trade. Or to at least force a recall. Showtime is hoping to force a recall. Oh, Hero turns around. He's only moving out with the drop. Keeps his main army at home. Hero's the first to expand. And GG. GG gets called. We don't even get a final fight. And Hero, he will take the series 2-0. Advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense, very aggressive series here between Hero and Showtime. Game 1, Showtime took a big chance, took a big gamble, did not probe scout, and he assumed that Hero was being aggressive. when instead hero's being greedy, and he forced the 2-base rule in at a showtime, and showtime, again, because hero was already ready for it, he had his immortals, he had his shield batteries, he had his warpins, he had the better economy. Hero shut down the all-in and defended. Here in game 2, proxy robot versus proxy stargate, and that oracle got so much damage done. The oracle got 9 probes and got 2 big stasis traps off as well. If you remember, we spoke about how a lot of it was hinging on whether or not that oracle and that stargate would actually pay off, and it did pay off for hero. Defensively, hero, he had enough time to get his own robo up and running. He bought enough time for his own robo, his own warpins, his own immortal production. GG, well played. As showtime, he just ran out of steam and ran out of momentum, and with that we have our first finalist, hero. Hero does make it to the grand finals. Meanwhile, big shout out to Holy Lime in the chat. God, thanks so much for subscribing for 35 months. Thank you so much for the support. Likewise, big shout out to Babylings for gifting a sub earlier as well. Do apologize, I did gloss over that, but did give a sub to Kaiser Micah as well. Thank you so much for all the support, as this is leading us into our next semifinals match. Now, for now, we're going to be going on a break. Here. We just wrapped up with our round of 16 match, quarterfinals match, first semifinals match as well. Hero is now in the grand finals, waiting for the winner of our next series. We're going back to the TVPs, Classic versus Clem. So we're going to be cutting to a break here, and when we come back, we'll have Classic versus Clem ready for you. See you soon after the break. Take this opportunity, take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, hydrate all of your hydras. We'll see you soon for Clem and Classic. See you soon. friends, welcome back everyone, welcome back to the WardiTV Monday number 67. We just wrapped up with the first half of the broadcast. We wrapped up with the round of 16 quarterfinals and the first half of the semis, and now we're here with Clem versus Classic. Remember, herO is waiting in the grand finals in a best of 5 for the winner of this series. Will it be a Terran versus Protoss or Protoss versus Protoss? We're about to find out here as we're jumping into our first game for the first time tonight. So we're going to be loading into Mothership, the new 3-player spawn map with Clem and Classic. Let's go. Let us go. Now, historically, Classic has had Clem's number, has been one to keep up and to shut him down, but that was in the previous patch, in the previous meta. We'll see how they compare here on Mothership. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mothership, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And as we get into the semifinals, a big shout out to Babylings. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifted sub to Sinsklar in the chat. God, thank you so much, Babylings. Thank you so much for the support. As always, thank you so much. We always appreciate the support. I hope you enjoy the gifted sub. Hope you enjoy the emotes. I hope you enjoy the replay packs. Hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for the supports. Hope Sinskar does enjoy as we are getting into our best of 3, getting into our semis. Welcome to Mothership. Mothership is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in top side, top right, top left, and a bottom side as well. So there's a little bit of an RNG factor when it comes to spawn locations. Classic, he is going to be scouting the bottom side first. It's going to be a delayed scout for Clem. So Classic gonna take a little bit longer to confirm what's going on. Clem going for a very tech-heavy start, going for a double gas opener. Okay, so double gas opener, faster factory, delayed CC, a much more tech-heavy start out of our blue Terran player. Again, Clem is typically one to embrace early game and mid-game aggression. We'll see if Classic can keep up. Let's go. Hope you're having a good New Year. True. Happy New Year. Oh my God. Yeah. It's been very humid here in Sydney. For the past 3 days, it's been like blasting hot, and then in the afternoon it like rains for like 1 or 2 hours. So it becomes very humid in the evening. It's like we're in Singapore. It's like we're in the tropics. Aye. So Aussie weather. It's been rain. Aye, okay, there you go. It'll be 40 C by Wednesday. Let's go. We'll make it. We'll survive. For now, there's that delayed CC on the high ground for Clem. Classic, he wasn't able to really confirm what was going on. You can see here he didn't get into the main base. For all Classic knows, it could have been a faster CC on the high ground. There could have been a faster factory. Classic is playing blind here as Clem is following up with a 1-1-1. Again, faster starport because of the faster factory. Ooh, Classic playing safe. So because Classic sees nothing, safety shield battery at the natural, and even a safety shield battery in the main base. So very safe play here by Classic. I mean, this is already helping Clem, as Classic is spending resources here on that site defense. Setting up in both faces. Hallucination moves out. Clem rotates into the main. So far, Classic keeps up with the Reaper. Clem did see the Oracle moving out, but back at home, he does have a Cyclone on the way. Marines are revealed. Classic, he sees the timing of the starport, he knows. Yeah, he now knows it was a late expansion. Oh, as Clem, he's going for very early tank production. Now, when it comes to this early 1-1-1, we have seen Clem and other Terran players embrace early Viking support. Yep, there we go, we're pushing. Yeah, Clem is going for a very early push. This build has been very popular amongst players like Clem, players like Bjorn, Maru, even Kira. I mean, all the top Terrans have been mixing this into their play. Essentially, it is hyper aggressive, and what this Viking means is that we're going to be landing the Viking to support the army as well. Landed Viking aggression and landed Vikings actually do a surprising amount of damage to gateway units. And here we go. Clem, he sends everything across the map. This is meant to be a kill move. It's meant to kill. We can see Classic setting up shield batteries. Second shield battery's on the way. Classic did go for how many gateways? 3. So 3 gate blink, a safe setup here by Classic, but he has to engage ahead of time. He wasn't able to. He wasn't able to. Tank is already here. Tank has arrived, getting within range of the shield battery. We'll siege up. Oh, can he focus on the tank in time? One more volley, does get it. Tank goes down just barely. Shield batteries, they put in a lot of work. And Classic is holding. Classic is barely holding on. The Viking was a little bit late. Yeah, late Viking, late support. The batteries are out of energy. Clem still trying to kill. Oof. Doesn't save the Cyclone. And again, Classic holds. Classic, he barely holds on. He shuts this down. And Clem, he is hurting here. This entire build was meant to kill. It was meant to do devastating damage with the first tank. Oh no. Medevac gets hunted down. Losing the Viking, the tank, the everything. Yeah, as the Medevac is not going to escape, and Clem, he'll lose control of the center of the map, losing 2 tanks, 2 Vikings, the Medevac, everything falls. And Classic expands. Classic is just chilling, getting his third base. Classic has gained map control, and Clem, he is in a very rough position. Remember, Clem, what did he lose for this build? Stim, combat shields +1, eBay, any kind of follow-up, any kind of upgrades. It was all heavily delayed in favor of this tank production, and he lost all the tanks. All the tanks have gone down. Clem in a rough position. And I have to imagine that the only way out of this is a 2-base all-in. Like, I have to believe that Clem is going to be building up into a 2-base all-in. As getting into a macro game from here, it's going to be so difficult. For now, eBay behind the mineral line. Stim has begun. He's building up on 2 bases. We'll see if he throws down a 4th and 5th racks or if he throws down a CC. That's what we're looking for. Meanwhile, Classic is chilling. Classic is chilling, getting to Storm. When it comes to Clem's push, when it comes to his move outs, again, it did feel like he hit a little bit too soon before the Viking could arrive to actually punish the Stalkers. Also, that second shield battery did finish up in time. Those 2 batteries, they were the MVPs, ensuring that Classic was able to hold the line, didn't lose anything. Or at least minimal losses. And Clem is going for a second move out, but Storm is done. Storm is going to be ready for this. Let's see Classic once again trying to engage at a time. Getting Marine. Gets one, gets two. Oh no! Bit of miscontrol there, getting caught out. That should not have happened. Clem does get 1 Stalker for free. Ooh. As the Liberator gets across the map. 7 kills on the Liberator. Okay. You have my attention. 7 probe kills. Again, this is the beginning of the comeback. Observer gets caught out, so 3rd TC is on the way. The Observer did scout the 3rd TC. So Clem, he does plan on macroing out of this. And again, the Liberator was a nice first step. The tanks. Oh no, the tanks! The tanks are exposed, and he's going to lose one. He might even lose both. Yeah, 1 tank goes down. He's going for the other, and it looks like he should get it. Oof. Yeah, 2 tank kills. Storm in the Bio Army as well, and I believe there should be another Storm. Clem being picked apart. I believe there's 1 Storm left in this prism, as 2 Storms were used. Classic making his way into the main. Clem going for his own double drop. Classic, remember, he spotted the drop. He's aware. Did go back home. As we get the Storm drop into the main. Ooh, 8 SCVs. 8 vehicles, not enough anti-air. Nicely powering of the gateways, but Classic, he's ready at home. He has Storms at home. He has Storms across the map. And Clem, he's hurting. Zell's taken into the mineral line. Clem dropping on the south side instead. Going for the 3rd. Ah, there's a recall. There's a recall available. Double drop back into the main base. Classic out of position. Okay. Classic being pulled apart. Ah, but Zelta warping in. Classic, can he defend? Where the high temp are going? He's being dragged back and forth. There's a first Storm. There's 1, 2 storms. Not the most efficient trade here, but the army is dealt with. Yeah, storms are all over the place. They're everywhere. Classic storms, classic defense, and classic heal 39 SCVs. That is game-ending damage. The drop was okay here from Clem, but he just lost far too much. He lost far too much across the map. Losing 2 mineral lines worth of workers. Losing all of his tanks, and even here losing his army. Again, these are losses that Clem can afford, and he's going to lose his medevacs as well. Oof. Losing 2 medevacs. Losing the Viking. And the Archon barely got out of there. And it's all or nothing for Clem. I mean, at this point, I don't see this really working, but it's all he's got. He's got to just send it. Oh. Storms, they blanket the army. Feedbacks as well. And again, we're down to 2 Marauders and 6 Marines. Down to 2 Marines. No. And nice target firing at the classic. Cleaning up the entirety of the army. Clem escaping with 1 medevac. Not even. Oh god. Doesn't get away with anything. And for a while now, we've been huffing quite a bit of copium here. Ah, the copium pack. It's strong. And again, it was just a really rough start. It was a really rough start with a failed aggression. Referring to Clem's first push with his tank. He lost the tank. It was the first thing that was lost, first thing that was hearted. Storm in the middle line. 3rd CC now under fire. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Classic, he will take a lead in the series. He will take game number 1. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. Again, it was just a very rough start there for Clem. Winding it back, Clem, he initially opened up with a 1-1-1 early tank push with a medevac with a Viking, but if you remember, he hit before the Viking was there to reinforce, so his tank was vulnerable, his tank was exposed, and his tank was the first thing to go down. And without that tank, I mean, that was the backbone of his army, right? That was the backbone of his army. Without that tank, he had no staying power. He couldn't push into the natural. Classic was more than ready for it. He had his 2nd shield battery, he had his warp ins, and Classic shut down the aggression, shut down the... I wouldn't call it an all-in, but he shut down the aggression. He just stripped away any kind of momentum that Clem had, and then it was just a snowball. It was just a domino effect from there. If you remember, Clem, he then lost 2 more tanks after that in the center of the map. When he picked up his Marines, his tanks were exposed. He lost 2 more tanks. He lost his workers, his mineral lines. It was just brutal from there. GG. GG, well played. As Classic gained and maintained all that momentum, and now we're loading into game number 2. Let's go. Loading into game 2, and we'll see if Clem can bounce back. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can force the ace match. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 1-0. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Terran player. We have the French Terran, we have the blue Terran for Team Liquid. It is Clem. Let's go. Let's go. So we're getting into game 2 here again. Classic has leading the series, and we'll see if Clem goes for another aggressive build. Welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Shorter rush distance by ground, a more open and exposed 3rd base option, so we do often see a lot more aggressive builds here, but we'll see. It comes down to what Clem decides to go for. I do feel like it's going to be more up to Classic to react to Clem's build of choice, but we'll see. But now Classic does move out. Moves out with the probe scout. This time, Clem is going for a more economic start. Remember, last game, Clem went for a faster second gas geyser. He went for a double gas opener into a faster factory, into a faster starport, into the 111. This time, Clem is going for a faster base. So SCV moves down to low ground, looking to expand and claim that CC. Classic is too late to block. Yeah, too late to block for Classic. And so far, again, Clem having a nice economic start. Clem even skipping his SCV scouts and also going Marine first. If you remember, we spoke about this during the previous series, during the Gumiho series. Well, this is a lot more common at this level of play for the Terran players to just forego scouting early on. It can be risky, especially if the Protoss player decides to go for a proxy Stargate, or even just a Stargate opener, something that isn't standard. We'll see. So Marine into Tech Lab into early add-on swap. Greedy follow-up here by Clem. There's the add-on swap. And one Twilight Council open out a Classic, going into Blink. Oh, hello, 007, hello. Give any evils. There's your early Cyclone. Oh, do you see what I see? That is a second rack. Second racks before starport. Hyper aggression. Hyper aggression. If we go for a third racks, and we do go for third racks, 2 base all in. 2 base all in. And Clem, he's going for a very delayed starport, a delayed medevac production in favor of early stim and early marine production. So a hefty army is being set up here by Clem. Off of an economic opener, and so far Classic has no idea. Classic doesn't know what's coming. It is Ruby Rock, so this kind of build is kind of expected on a map like Ruby Rock. I would say the same about Tourmaline. I would say the same about 10,000 feet. So Classic, I'm sure this is in the back of his mind, but Classic has yet to confirm. But now Classic getting a safety shield battery on the low grounds. He's going for, I believe, a third gate. Yes, so 3-gate blink into a robo, shield battery in the low ground. A very safe play here by Classic. But he's yet to confirm. Setting up a spotter pylon for drops. And we'll see if Classic can keep up. Oh, Clem, okay, is going for the eBay variation of this, so going for +1. And this is looking very similar to the timing that, was it Cure? Timing that Cure went for? No, sorry, Gumiho in game 1. Gumiho in game 1, he went for the +1 timing. That was on the Old Republic. So Clem is still building up. Classic blink is complete. Now building up into charge. His stalkers, they have to move out. They have to engage ahead of time and slow down the push. Maybe even bait out a stim. But the pressure's on Classic. Clem is just building up. He's building up his bio. No bunker. Remember, there's no tanks just because of the build of choice. There's no tanks whatsoever. So Classic can abuse this position. But Stim is finishing up in 8 seconds. Classic could have been more active here.
Additional supply depots required. Research
Prism is zoned away. And Stim is complete. Classic, he does blink. Tries to blink away. Oh! Doesn't quite get the medevac. Let's use this for Stim. First Stim gets used. Classic has to get the hell out of here, and he will lose the Prism. Oh, oh my god, barely gets away. Prism pulls out. Classic pulls back to his third base. Clem behind this getting his own third CC. But again, we're expecting a little bit more here from Clem's army. Expecting more. Clem got one stalker. So to catch one stalker. Drop into the main base, get spotted. Classic warps in back at home. Go doesn't get the Marauder. I'll pick up at a Clem. Very nice control. Clem pokes in. Medevac gets caught. At the same time, the main army does push towards the her base, and a Classic is out of position. He's racing over. Does race over. No shield batteries. Oof. He'll take both mites to the face, and he's running out of zealots here. It looks like there's barely enough. Yeah, Classic, he barely has enough. Shuts down the army, keeps on chasing. Picks off the medevac as well. Reinforcements trying to come in from behind, running into more zealots. A better trade here for Classic. As more zealots, they just collapse on the reinforcements. Decent mine connections. Classic pulls out. Classic, he pulls out, he pulls away. So far, it was a better defense from Classic, but Classic doesn't have a fourth. No fourth base, so Clem is catching up, if not exceeding Classic economically. Getting his third base. If you recall earlier, I assumed that Clem was going to go for a 2-base all-in, but this third CC was eventually thrown down, and Classic, he wasn't really expecting this. I think he also was expecting an all-in. Classic needs to expand. Thankfully, what Classic has, though, is 4 High Templar. That's a lot of High Templar, that's a lot of Storms. So Classic can still take a fight, but he is on the low ground. Classic has to respond. Clem sees an opening, stims forward. Oof. Storm on the Widow Mines. Catching at 1, 2, catching at all 3 Widow Mines. 3 mines go down. There's what, 3 storms left. Classic trying to distract, at the same time going for a zealot run by.
Our SCVs are
And Zealots are going for the third base. Clem turns everything around. Reinforcements getting caught. And a bit of a missing gauge here. Where are the storms? Oof. Storms not coming in. Storms come in, and not many SCVs go down. A nice defense here by Clem. And you can see the supply disparity here in favor of Clem. Classic's home position is just so fragile. Just Zealots, High Templar. It's a very fragile composition. And speaking of fragile, it does lead with High Templar. Oh my god. Stacks of storms. He still has more where that came from. And the storms are decent, but he needs more damage. He needs to get more done. Still holding on to another storm. Oof. One more left. What alas! One more storm. Once again, zones away. And that's it. The final storm. And with that, Clem is holding. Clem heals. Nice EMP. He shuts down the army. And again, that was all that Classic had. As he fails to break the third base. Mirror Clem can clean up. He can counterattack. There's nothing back at home. At Classic, he lost everything here in the assault. That's all he had. Now, if given time, Classic can build up his Colossus. He's making 2 at a time. But Clem has a massive advantage here. Up in army, Marauders, Bio. Has plenty to work with. Again, we spoke about it earlier, but Classic, his 4th base was just too late. His 4th base was just far too late. Classic has been behind economically for the past, what, 3 minutes? 4 minutes? Just late 4th, late economy, smaller army as a result. And Classic had to break the space, and he failed to do so. Failed to break the third. If given time, Classic can recover, but the problem here is that Clem shouldn't be giving him that time. As again, there's just so little support for the army. Yes, there are 2 Colossus. Yes, there are 5 High Templar, but we need more beef to this army here. We need more Zealots, more Chargers, more Stalkers. The support just isn't there. Not yet. Classic is slowly closing that gap. Classic is slowly getting there. Let me rotate. Claim you backed off. Now I'm a little bit surprised. If you remember, I just spoke about this, how like Classic, if given time, he can recover. Clem's been very passive. He's been very passive after winning his engagements. He pulled back, he got a 4th base, and he's slowly building up into Ghosts and Liberators. Now technically Clem is perfecting his army, that is true, but this has given Classic the opportunity to build up his own. As he rotates over towards the 3rd base, he wants that CC. He cannot get through though. He has so many Vikings, they punish the Colossus. Patient play here by Clem, using hold position micro. And a very delicate dance, nice EMP. You can see here that Classic, he doesn't have that many storms left. He has 3 High Tempo remaining with energy. Yeah, final storm. That was the final storm. Classic has to back off. He fails to break this position once again, and we mentioned it that Clem, he's been perfecting his army now with more Ghosts, more Vikings, and soon to be Liberators as well. So again, the soup does lie. As in Classic was maxed earlier, but one army isn't quite like the other. As Classic is being bullied back. And Classic is being outscaled. Just being outscaled. As Clem peels off, going for a Doom Drop. Oh, getting into the main. Collapsing, collapsing forward. Now bearing in mind that Clem is fighting with only a portion of his army. He's got a good quarter across the map, but he is breaking through. Jesus, forcing the recall even. Let's force a recall. Oh, doesn't quite get a Colossus. We'll lose some units though. Clem bleeding off some units, just trading out some bio. Behind this, reinforcing with those Liberators. I believe Liberator range is already done. Oh, not quite. Not yet. But he has the fusion core. Has the core. So again, EMPs are popping up. Oof. Getting another Colossus. Getting a high HP Colossus as well. And the liberation has arrived. He has the freedom. It's finally here. Yeah, Liberators push forward. They force the Stalkers in. They do focus on both Liberators, but it's going to cost the entire army here. The Stalkers go down. The Colossus goes down. No more High Templar. No more Storms. And Clem, he can stim, and he can win. GG gets called. Clem ties up the series at 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. Again, a classic. He was putting so much here when it came to his initial move out, but even before that, I want to say that if you remember, Clem, he went for a very aggressive initial opener, but he got a third CC behind it, and Classic was so engrossed and so fixated on that defense that he did fall behind economically. Even though Clem with his initial push didn't break the third, he was able to trade well enough and keep Classic distracted while he expanded. You know, Classic was stuck on 3 bases, late 4th base and late 5th base. With that, fell behind economically, fell behind supply wise, and Classic was never quite able to recover. GG, well played. Clem was able to get comfortable in the mid game, and with that, we now have a back and forth. We have a series, and we'll see who will claim the series. It all comes down to the final game on Winter Madness. We're going to be loading into that ace match. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss, representing Team Virtus Pro, being forced into a tied-up series. Can he bring it back? It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player. We have the French Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. There we go. Chat, has a ladder reset yet? I don't think so. I mean, the season is still, I mean, it feels like the season is still relatively new. It's been like 2 months, right? Am I crazy? It's been like 2 months since the season's been live. Maybe 3? Here we go. The new season went live in November, right? I think it was November. End of October. There we go. Here we go. We're getting into Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a much larger map of the map pool, larger map, more defensive bases, and we do often see longer and later games as a result. And we'll see if we can embrace a more longer and later game setup. Let's go. For now, economic opener. Single gas here by Clem. Clem going for a Rax into CC on the low ground, going for a more economic build, just like last game. Now remember, last game, Clem, he went for a 3-Rax setup before the star put into a heavy bio composition. And he wasn't able to kill Classic, but he was able to get a massive lead as he was able to successfully contain Classic on 3 bases. Contain him on a low base count, on low economy. And Clem just took a lead from there. See in the chat, Thunder, EMP versus Thunder. Ah, no. Yeah, when I think Thunder, I think of the Brood War Storm, to be fair. That's the best part of SC Evolution. The Brood War Storm. Now though, we do have our Twilight Council opener for Classic. Once again, it's going to be Marine into Tech Lab into Earthy Cyclone. And this is looking just like game 2, just like last game. Going for the second Rax, most likely the third Rax, into an add-on swap into Stim, into a hefty bio composition, into later Metavax. So far, same build 2 games in a row out of Clem. I will say that this should be less effective on Winter Madness because of the size of the map. And due to the size of the map, Classic is going to have more time to scout, and more time to react, and more time to respond. Assuming this is a third Rax. Yep, there it is, third Rax. So third Rax is on the way. There's the add-on swap into Stim. So again, same build. Now, if you recall last game, I assumed that this was the beginning of a 2-base all-in, but Clem did actually expand behind it, and he took an economic lead. As Classic overreacted and was stuck on a lower base count. We'll see if Clem does it again. Oh, those are extra gateways though. So Classic is adjusting his response. Clem is going for the same build, but Classic going for 4-gate blink. I do actually really like this for Classic. So one of the big weaknesses of Clem's build, and we briefly mentioned it last game, was lack of tanks, right? There was 0 tanks last game for Clem, especially because this should be an add-on swap. Yep, as you can see, the factory is only being used for add-on swapping. So we're just add-on swapping non-stop, getting into stim, getting into combat shields. There is that 1 safety cyclone, but 0 defensive tanks. So defending against 4 Gatling Stalker is actually very difficult for the Terran, as they're going to be relying on purely Marines, purely Bio, no defensive bunkers. That is greedy here from Clem. No bunkers being set up. And Classic is going to be pushing. Now, we'll see if Classic can hit pre-stim. If he can hit pre-stim, he could break Clem and then just kill him. As here comes a move out. Stalkers are moving out. Here comes a War Prism as well. Classic is pushing. And again, there is a window in time here where he can abuse Clem. This is also the downside of going for the same build 2 games in a row. We'll see if Clem can get away with it. Can he get away with it? Classic warping in 4 Stalkers at a time. You can see Stim is almost done. Stim is almost done. He needs a little bit more time. Stalkers are hit the natural. No bunker. He's going for the Marauder. He gets one. And Marauder goes down. Stim is 10 seconds away. We're 10 seconds away from Stim. We should be seeing another warp in. Oh, lock on the Stalkers. Getting 1, getting 2. Yeah, 2 Stalkers go down. Stim is now complete, and Clem will punish. Yeah, big punish here and doesn't get the Prism. Oh no! Oh my god. Stalkers blink away. Prism does pull out. You can see Classic is banking resources. He missed a warp in. Yeah, straight up. He just missed a warp in there during the engage. Behind this, getting his 3rd base, trying to transition, and Clem so far is keeping up. He's holding. He is holding on. Ooh, I say that Siphon goes down. Where are the blinks? Blinks away, but still bleeds out another couple of Stalkers here. Rough trades, rough engagements here for Classic. This is not worth it. And Clem is just out trading. He's out trading Classic even here, failing to pick up that Stalker. So some rough micro, some rough control. And what's scary here is that this 4-gate blink build had to do more damage. Remember, Classic delayed his 3rd base for this. His 3rd base is late because of this build. He needs to get more done. 3rd TC is on the way for Clem. Oh. Because they drop into the main. Sorry, into the natural. Getting a wind mine, getting some damage. I mean, this is okay, but Classic needs more. Now, Classic is going to have a power spike with this Colossus. Unlike the previous games, Classic is not going in a Storm, he's going to Colossus first. So, Colossus production has begun. Classic going back in. Once again, baiting out stims. Clem is still pushing though. He spots the 4th base. There's 1 Colossus. There's a couple of Stalkers. Charge is done. Okay, he has a warp in. He has a warp in. Classic can hold. Oh. Classic, he spots the move out. Doesn't get the Marauder. No, he blinks in. Bleeds out a Stalker. But he's distracting. He's buying time. He's now up to 2 Colossus. 2nd Colossus has arrived. Not getting to a 3rd. Classic trying to bypass the main army. Oh, does run into him. Getting, what, 2, 3 Marauders, not bad. Rotating over to the 3rd. Clem, he was the one that was out of position this time, but a massive mine shot. Oh my god. Mind Shot goes off on all the Zealots, and Classic has to retreat. And again, as the dust settles here, Clem is still in a better economic position. Classic did have a faster 4th base this time, thankfully, but his worker count here is still quite low. Now switching into Mass Disruptor. 2nd Robe is on the way into double Disruptor production. Now, what I will say is that thankfully Classic didn't lose any Colossi, so he has been able to retain the core units of his army. Retain the Colossus. At least he has his 4th base, but still a rocky position here for Classic. Meanwhile, I believe this Liberator gets free damage. Yeah, there's no way to deal with this. There's no way to deal with it. Ooh, forcing out a Stargate. Ay, ay, ay. As that is an abusable position, and that Liberator can just deny mining from, what, 4 patches. Jesus. Classic getting a 5th. And he's at Phoenix or Void Ray. There aren't many positions like this, but they're few and far between, but they're still there every now and then. So yep, there we go. Phoenix is on the way to deal with this. Getting a Phoenix. Bold move, going for the Nova. Very nice connection. Nova pops up. But the Disruptor is targeted. Disruptor does go down. It was a nice Nova, but it mainly connected with Marauders, and they survived. They're being healed up. They're already healed up, actually. Oh, Liberator finally goes down. Clem, he's now maxed. Now, on the one hand, yes, Classic is down in army supply. He's down in economy. He's in a rough position. But thanks to all these Disruptors, he has a chance. Disruptors have a lot of potential here. If the Novas can connect consecutively, then Classic can take a fight. But he's putting a lot of his hopes here in those Disruptors. It's all going to be in the Novas pack. Disruptors are moving in. As Clem's army is built to tank some Novas as well. That's the other issue. It's got a very tanky army. It's very Marauder heavy. Fusion Core's on the way. That's going to be for the Liberators. It's going to be for the Freedom. Classic's got 4 Novas. You're going to count them. There's a first. First Nova goes off. No connection. He's got 3 Novas left. Brings him into the main. Clem is max, so he has no production. As he peels up a couple of units. Disruptor's moving forward. Fishing for a shot. First Nova goes off. Again, Gray's in the army, but these Marauders, they just tank those shots. They tank him. Oh, gets a Ghost. Ghost gets caught out. Decent EMPs. We get some okay Novas here towards the end. Gray's in the army, getting a handful of Marines, but it's not good enough. And Clem, he will shut this down. He shuts this down. He controlled well. He spread well. Again, against all those Disruptors, he lost like 6 Marines. Like, that was crazy. And now he can just stim forward. He can just stim and win. Takes out every Disruptor. Zealots, they attempt to flank. But Clem will overwhelm. As reinforcements are on the way. Classic is running out of Zealots. Oh, Classic blink forward. Uh-oh. Let's get the hell out of here. As Classic, his blink is punished. And again, he lost all of his power units. He lost all the Colossus and Disruptors. So his robot army was reset. He's now making 3 Disruptors at a time. The problem here is that Classic is being outscaled. What is Clem remaxing on? Well, eventually, Liberators. Right, Liberator range is on the way. Advanced ballistics has begun. So Clem is perfecting his army. Classic going for the mothership. Sorry, going for the fleet beacon. Setting up for Sky Toss. I do think that this is a mature decision, but at the same time, this also feels just a really rough position for Classic to be in. Ideally, you want to be switching into Sky Toss while you have momentum on your side, while you have map control. That isn't really the case. Classic does have map control, but he just lost a fight. Classic is mass expanding. We have more starports on the way. They're crazy. Have they just stopped building? Wait, what? What am I looking at? Is that a bug? Oh, no, there they are. So 2 starports, they were being built, but they were stopped mid-progression. That was from the Zealot run by, if you remember. Hopefully Clem notices in time. That was going off, not quite connecting. And nice pullback here by Clem. Pulls back in time, snipes on the disruptor. And finally, a decent connection. I want to say that's the best connection we've seen so far. And I splits out of Clem, he avoids a Nova. Does take a couple of shots to the face. But again, he will reset the disruptors once again. Snipes every disruptor. Is going to get surrounded though. Has to get the hell out of here. Nice hit up by nice flank by Classic. Nice flank, nice surround. Clem has to pull back. And again, the lack of starports is hurting. He needs those libs. He needs the liberators. Oh, Jesus. As liberation has finally arrived, but again, the liberator production has been stifled. Novas are popping off. Massive connections. Classic is doing it. The Novas connect for the first time. Big connections. Now we're just gonna keep going. Just gonna keep going. Keep pushing. Este Classic. He rotates over, going for the planetary. Nova goes off once again. Oh my god! They're finally connecting, Pappy. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, massive Novas. Mineral line goes down. And you can see here the duality of disruptors. Like if you see them whipping and just get no damage, you just get annihilated in these fights. If they connect though, then you can dominate. Those, I want to say 3 good Novas here relatively consecutively. Like in that one big engage. Mineral line went down. Clem's economy is stifled. Down to 45 SCVs. Clem, he needed that base. There's a mainly zone. A little bit trigger happy there from Classic this time. A little bit trigger happy wasting those Novas. He gets punished for it. Has to pull. But again, with his superior economy, we have the massive wave of charge. Lots of swarm tosses here, Pappy. The swarm toss. Classic is remaxing. He can keep going. Can keep going. Recalling with the mothership, diving on the base. Once again, ensuring that Clem cannot expand. Going for the CC. Doesn't kill it though. Not ideal. Yeah, it doesn't quite kill, but does catch out a couple of liberators. That's what, 3-4 liberators going down. Some OK Novas. Classic has to pull away. He's running out of zealots. He's counterattacking. Yeah, he's going to be counterattacking instead. Pulls back with the main army. Tries to save the mothership, but will be able to. Zealot the third. Unfortunately, not too many SCVs. But does deny mining. Dies mining, ideally forces a lift. Clem is being pulled apart. And again, Clem, he never got to his perfect army, right? He was close. He was so close to perfecting his army. But again, his Liberator production was delayed. One more volley. Ooh, doesn't kill the CC. Doesn't get the planetary. But once the ball started rolling, Classic, he's not stopping. And again, Clem, he hasn't been able to push, right? He hasn't been able to move out. As a result, he kind of punished the fringe bases. Classic moving in once again. Diving on the planetary. This time he will kill. There is a pop up. Pop off, they buy time. Base full, 12 more SCVs. And coming into this, I was expecting a TVP finals, but it's not going to happen. GG gets called. Classic will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Classic, he will claim the series. He'll advance on to the grand finals. Again, it was a very intense final game here, very back and forth. Initially, Clem had the stronger start. Clem, he was able to shut down the army, able to maintain his 4 bases, able to max out. But remember, Clem, he was working on his Liberator transition, but because it was maxed out, the Zealot drop in the main base did disrupt his production, did actually stop 2 more starports from finishing, which did delay any kind of Liberators, which meant that there was an extended period of time where Classic could actually engage. And that's when the Novas connected. That's when the disruptors did pay off. He was able to land some juicy Novas, able to take better fights, and then eventually catch Clem with his pants down and kill the 5th base. The 5th base, if you remember, he was able to kill 16 SCVs, deny mining at the 5th, and the 5th base never got up. It never got up and running. With that, Clem, he just ran out of steam, ran out of money, never got a 5th base. GG, well played. Whew. As Classic will advance on to the grand finals. In chat, using disruptors versus Clem must be the worst feeling ever. I mean, they landed. Like they there was some big connections back. Eventually, to be fair, eventually. But GG, well played. With that, Classic will claim the series. With that, we're heading into the grand finals. It's going to be a PvP between Classic and herO. Let's go. Again, Classic is usually the one to stand in the way of Clem, and that is the case this time as well. Again, it was still very intense, very close, very clutch. Clem, there were definitely moments where he was ahead here in this game, but we did speak about that one moment, though, where his production was stifled, where Classic was able to distract him, able to engage, and able to land those Novas, and able to stop the 5th base from getting up. So, big moment there for Classic. And now we're getting into the grand finals. Here we go. It's going to be a PvP between herO and Classic. The 2 best Protoss players in the world are going to be facing off once again. They are regulars here when it comes to the finals. Of course, they faced off in the finals of RSL. That was last month in December, where it was a best of 7 or best of 9 that went all the way to the ace match between herO and Classic. And herO, he barely clutched it out in that ace match over Classic, and we'll see if he can do it again. We'll see if Classic can get his revenge. Bearing in mind as well that for the finals, this will be a best of 5, not a best of 3. Best of 5. Let's go. As game 1 is going to be on Tourmaline. Oh, true. Remember, this began with a failed 4-gate by Classic as well. Like, that was remember, it was Clem going into his bio opener. It was Classic going 4 gates blink and failing as well. Like, it was a lot going on. There was a lot in that last game. But here we go. We're getting into the finals. Getting into game 1 and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tourmaline. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Here we go. We have our PvP, we have our finals here, and Classic and herO, they often go back and forth. I do favor herO coming into the finals, but we do often see these players trade blows, especially in PvP, just because of how chaotic this dynamic can be. Classic is very fond of proxies. He's very fond of one base all-ins, proxy robo, so I expect to see that at least twice in this series. We'll see if herO can keep up. For now, welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is one of the smallest maps of the map pool, a hyper-aggressive map, which means you can all in even from back at home. You don't need a proxy. For now, 2-gate. 2-gate opener out of Classic, a 2-gate opener out of herO. Classic moves out with his probe, herO already in position to scout for the pylon. He's here to scout. Second pylon gets thrown down in the main base. herO, he does confirm. He knows that there is no proxy. And Classic about to do the same. Classic does the same. So far, everything is above board. So far, so good. Here being as long as possible, it does go for the pylon block. Back at home, it's going to be a double stalker. Sorry, it's going to be a sentry opener into additional stalkers from herO. Opening up stalker sentry. You know what? Classic opened up double stalker. So Classic, it does have the stronger army early on. He's moving out. Catching out the first stalker. Miscontrol out of herO. Yeah, herO has to pull back. herO is in danger. But Classic is reinforcing. Here he does have the defender's advantage. Coming in with the flank, a very nice force field. He looks down. Oh no, he tries to lock down the stalker. They will trade 1 for 1. Does he get the second? Looks like he will. Yeah, nice setup here by herO. Very nice control. The flanking sentry, the flanking force fields. Crazy. Ooh. As here he has to respect the tall grass. herO has to respect it, but overall this was a better trade for the red Protoss. As it killed 2 stalkers for 1. As here chasing down 2 additional stalkers. Classic cannot afford to lose this. He's pulling back home, and no defensive shield battery, but he does have his own force fields. Trying to lure herO in. Here come the force fields. Oh! Sentry, they push forward. herO, he commits. It does trade 1 for 1. Now going for the sentries. We'll get both. And both sentries go down. Oh no! Losing another stalker. And as the dust settles here, we have an almost even trade, still slightly better for herO. herO trading out 3 stalkers and a sentry for 3 stalkers and 2 sentries. So slightly better trades. Classic overextends. Oh. Does try to punish though. Here one of his stalkers are out in the open. Oh, as here he almost gets surrounded. And from here getting flanked. And here he should not be out. He's going to lose everything. Every stalker's going to fall. Ay, ay, ay. Oof. Okay, decent trade towards the end. Oh my god, the target firing. Here he barely evens it up. Again, a really intense early game behind this. We're taking up into Blink. We do have a Dark Shrine for Classic. Does herO have a Robo? Ooh, he does not. herO, he's going for a 3rd Nexus before Robo. Hyper greed out of herO, and this happens from time to time. This game may just be over. It is not uncommon. It happens to Max Packs, it happens to herO, it happens to Classic as well. But there are games in PvP where if a player goes DTs and there is no detection, that's just GG. And right now, there's no Stargate, there's no Robo, there's no Forge. herO doesn't notice the shimmer. Does he notice? Oh. Here, hyperfixated here on the main army. Cashing out a Stalker. This is going to be forcing herO all in. Yeah, here he's all in. He's going to commit. Did he notice that shimmer? He did. Robo's on the way. So he noticed the shimmer. Thankfully, there was no proxy pylon across the map. Otherwise, that could have been game. That should have been game. It still can be. Yeah, herO diving into the natural at the same time. The Robo is still in production. DTs, they pull off into the bases. Nice force fields here out of herO, but they're a defensive Dark Templar as well. DTs, they're everywhere. Despite that, herO trading as best he can, diving on the Stalkers. herO's trading well. Sniping as many Stalkers as he can. But across the map, the Robo was denied, so still zero detection. No detection. DTs everywhere. No mining either. Zero mining in the main base. Zero mining at the natural. No economy. GG. GG gets called. Zero detection, zero economy, and Classic takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, it happens. It is something that does occur here. We've seen players like herO, like we just saw, Classic, and Max all insta GG once DTs arrive. There are certain circumstances, like we just saw, where a Protoss player does play it greedily without scouting and does go for a faster third base before the Robo. So without a Robo, without detection, that's game. That is game then and there. GG, well played. Classic takes game number 1. Despite that, here he was still doing a lot of damage across the map. That is true, but there was never any way that he could actually deal with the Dark Templar. There's no way. And now we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss for T1. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss, the blue Protoss player himself. Representing Virtus Pro, it is Classic. Invisible Man OP, papi. I mean, it is one of the worst things about PvP is that you can't just insta GG with Dark Templar. It happens a little bit in other matchups. It does happen from time to time against Terran. Like DTs against Terran, if you can catch a Terran early on as they mule, then that also results in an insta GG as well. Like we've seen Beyond, we've seen Cure die to that. It's rare, but it does occur. It's unfortunately it's a part of the game. It happens. Smooch. But here we go. From here, 2-gate opener out of Classic. Meanwhile, herO going for a greedy build, going for a single gateway into a faster Nexus. So greedy herO, he throws down the gauntlet. He's like, hey, I'm gonna cut corners. What are you gonna do about it? As we have the gate into Cybercore into faster Nexus. Classic, I believe he does scouts. Yeah, Classic is in the main base. He scouts, he confirms. Classic, he sees how greedy herO is being, and Classic should react with a 1 base all in. There it is. Pro moves out, setting up for the proxy, setting up for the Robo. So 1 base all in out of Classic. herO, he should go for his own reactive Robo. He knows he got scouted. herO, he gets across the map. He should see that a pylon is missing. And we need a defensive Robo here. No shot, he still expands. Okay. He's going for it. Robo's in position. Okay, thank God. He goes to the Stargate before Nexus. So here he does not go for the faster expansion. This is still going to be a difficult defense. With this, he can make defensive Void Rays. Void Rays, they have their place in PvP in the early game, just as a defensive unit. But this won't be as clean of a defense as a Robo would have. So a defense is possible, but still going to be difficult. As remember, herO is still expanding. Still expanding. Well, Classic is reinforcing. Ah, god damn it, the YouTube stream went down again. What can I do? What can I do? I will make sure to change the server after this though, because clearly something is broken. So I think the plan for this week is to download and then restream these streams. I think that's the plan. Specifically on YouTube. For the past 3 streams. Smerch. As Classic does bust into the main, the boys are being pulled, and again, the one-way all-in has arrived. He's off a Stalker. Gets one of the Stalkers, he can out control, he can out micro, and he should just overwhelm. It breaks through every Stalker. Here he went Oracle first, not Void Ray, so here he should not be able to defend. He does have a Void Ray on the way though. It's in production. And it should barely pop out. That's gonna be close. Oh, the pylon! Oh, he gets a pylon, D-powers the Stargate, no Void Ray, and with that should be game. There's nothing to defend. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, herO, he was so greedy to go for a Gate Cyber expand. Did go for the Gate Cyber Stargate expand, but still a very greedy build, especially considering he got scouted. That's the thing, he got scouted, he was spotted, he was seen. He still went for the Stargate, not for the Robo. Went for the Oracle failed to get damage done across the map, and that meant that there was no Void Ray to defend. GG. GG, well played. With that, Classic is up 2-0. He's up 2-0 in the series and 1 game away from claiming the series here and now. Automass is all he needs. 1 more game. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1 down heavily in the series. Can he recover? Can he bounce back? Can he make a series out of this? The pressure is on. It is herO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the other South Korean Protoss, representing Protoss Pro. Leading the series 2-0, 1 more game away from claiming the series here and now. It is Classic. Here we go, and so far this has been a very Protoss, or it's been a very Korean PvP. Game 1 was Classic going DTs and herO not having detection. Game 2 was Classic going for a 1-base all-in and herO being greedy. And Game 3, what are we going for this time? There's been a trend. I don't know if you noticed, there's been a trend so far in this series. It's every game herO has been greedy and every game has been punished. Game 1, he went for a 3rd Nexus before Robo, so he had no detection and he died. Game 2, he went for a Nexus before Robo, and when he even opted to go for the Stargate opener as well into Oracle, and was killed for his greed as well, going for the single gate opener. This time, 2 gate opener out of herO, 2 gate opener out of Classic. The probe does move out for both players, and we're expecting to see some pylons. Oh, Classic. It looks like he's going for a fake proxy pylon. herO's could be real. So this pylon placement here from Classic tells us that Classic wants herO to probe scout. He wants herO to see that the pylon is missing and wants herO to overreact. But we can see that there's no Stargate, there's no Robo, there's nothing here. So it's a fake one. It's a fake proxy pylon out of Classic. herO also a fake proxy pylon on his side of the map. I say that herO could use this and could actually go for a Stargate. Robo. 1 base all in. Okay, 1 base all in out of herO. The rush distance by ground is a little bit long. This proxy location is still on herO's side of the map, so it's a little bit of a wonky proxy here, but he can still make this work. We'll see how Classic reacts. Classic comes in with the probe, and Classic should confirm that a pylon is missing. We'll see if he does. He goes in. Oh, doesn't go further. So he doesn't go further in just because he wants to save the probe. He pulls back. Behind this, Classic going for his own Robo opener. Now, if you remember, this is what I wanted out of herO last game, but herO went for the Stargate. Robo openers are so much safer, so very safe build here by Classic. Essentially, we have quote-unquote mirrored builds, with herO proxying going for the all-in, but Classic's own Robo is back at home to defend, so Classic does have the advantage here. 2-gate Robo out of Classic, 2-gate Robo out of herO. herO's is more aggressive, Classic's is more defensive. And again, this should be favoring Classic. Going for the Prism first. Classic is fanning out. He checks for the proxy Stargate location, checks the center, and it looks like he will find the robo. He will find it. Even going for the pylon itself. Shields get triggered. Ooh, Classic getting caught. Yeah, Classic gets caught out. He will trade 1 for 1. He may lose another. It barely pulls away. We have reinforcements en route. Oh. Saves the Stalker. Nice control there by Classic. You see him deviate away. Does move away with that prism. Oh, Classic forced to engage. Nice control out of herO. Saves both Stalkers. But Classic is going for the kill shot. He's going for the robo. He's going for the pylon, and he should depower. herO, he commits across the map, and so does Classic. What is it to defend? 1 immortal. There's 1 immortal defensively. Shield battery only just now began. Robo's depowered. Classic's moving in. Boys, they have to be pulled. Oof. Yeah, brutal losses there. Boys are being pulled. Classic barely holding on. And Classic has a massive army across the map. There's 5 Stalkers. Against 4. True. So far, nice control out of Classic. He does micro back. Saves the Stalkers, but does get zoned away. Oof. Yeah, he is zoned away. herO holds. As herO, he moves down to the lower ground. Classic back into the main base, but herO, he is ready. Yeah, he's ready in the main, coming for the surround as well. Classic, oh no, he gets surrounded! Prism goes down. herO, he defends. He defends, he cleases up completely. Classic was playing with fire, and it was not worth it, as he will lose every single Stalker, the Prism as well. And again, Classic was meant to have the better position. I mean, he kind of still has, as he's had this robo producing this entire time. So Classic still has an advantage. But herO has momentum. herO, he has momentum. Both players can micro, both players have their prisms. Comes down to the army control. herO going for the gateway. Ooh, picks off a Stalker. Stalker goes down. Oh no! herO, he miscontrols, bleeding out an immortal. That should not have happened. Ends up shading to the mineral line. Getting 3 probes. 3 probes go down. 4 probes even. At the same time, Classic also in the main base of herO. Probes are also falling. Everything's on fire. It's all flashing red. Classic, he maintains control of the ramp. So far, so good. It ups a shade back into the mineral line once again. herO down to 18 probes. No mining. As Classic does have that immortal lead. Here's a head immortal. herO, he repowered that robo. Bear that in mind. Goes back into the main. Classic is ready. Once again, Classic going for the pylon. Going for the proxy. Does depower. Here he's ready back at home. I'm sure he wants to bait Classic in again. So bait him in. And Classic, all he has to do is just check for the base. Just check for the expansion, then get the hell out of here. Goes in, confirms, no base. Has to pull away. He's going back in. Bold move. Last time he was punished. Oh, God. Yeah, Stalker, it's gonna happen again. Stalker intercept, the prism is gonna be focused down, and Classic, he has to recall. He has to get out of here. No, no. There's not enough room. Yeah, not enough room as the prism goes down. Massive loss for Classic. He should not have been here. He was just too greedy looking for damage. Ay, ay, ay. That's the second time that's happened this game, by the way. Classic, he lost the prison the first time out here, pushing into the main. Once again, went into the main base and also got punished. Twice this game. And that lead that Classic had, not anymore. That was 2 Immortals. Remember, that was 2 Immortals going down. He would have had 4, potentially even 5 Immortals. And it could have gone for the 1 base all in. I mean, now he's still 1 base all in, but it's even weaker, right? This is a weaker all in with half of the amount of the Immortals they should have. Here he backstab with the depths. Nothing's in position. And it's looking like we have a series. Not again. Not again. God damn it. Drops into the main base. Prism gets zoned away. Oh no. Not again, Pappy, not again. As Immortals are isolated, they're going to be going down, losing both Immortals. And GG gets called. GG gets called. herO, he fights back, he puts a point on the board. We have a series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Let's go. GG, well played here. As a herO, he does put a point on the board. He does fight back. Again, Classic, he had some big advantages this game, but twice we saw Classic overextend, go into the main base, and lose full war prisons, full of Immortals, full of Stalkers, full of everything. So again, some big missteps there from Classic, just being overly greedy, just overly aggressive, and did overextend too many times. GG. GG, well played with that. The comeback has begun, and we'll see if herO can bring this all the way to the ace match. Let's go. Let's go. So getting to the next game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have, sorry, top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He has put a point on the board, and can he bring us all the way to the ace match for T1? It is herO. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss, the South Korean Protoss for Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Here we go. Here we go, as we are getting into our next game, into game number 4 of the series, and herO, can he keep up this momentum? I mean, I will say that so far this series doesn't bode well for herO, just because it feels like last game it was Classic making more mistakes than it was herO kind of like being able to out control or outplay him. I mean, you could argue that it was, you know, herO taking advantage of that mistakes. True, was able to take advantage of that, but I would imagine that Classic's gonna calm down a little bit when he gets momentum, like when he gets ahead. If he gets ahead. True. We'll see. For now, 2-gate. 2-gate open out of herO. Meanwhile, for the first time this series, Classic is going for a singular gateway into a cybercore, into a faster expansion. Okay, now this is not the first time we've seen it this series, but the first time we're seeing it from Classic. If you remember, herO attempted this previously and was punished for it in game number 1. So in game 2. It was in game 2 where herO was punished. Oh, and unlike Classic, herO's not probe scouting. No shot. 0 probe scout out of herO here on White Rabbit. So Classic is going for a greedy build, and Classic, he is going to get away with it. If you remember what happened in game 2, herO did the same thing, but Classic scouted. So because Classic scouted, he reacted with a proxy robo into a 1-base all-in. But herO doesn't have the opportunity to do that. Doesn't have the opportunity to proxy to react because he has no scouting, he has no information. So big gamble here from herO. He decides not to scout. Classic going for the Nexus, already on location. And Classic will take a lead early on. Typically the pressure would be on the opposing player to punish, but herO doesn't know he has to punish. That's the issue here. He doesn't know how greedy Classic is being. The probe is now moving out. As here he is rallying. He's rallying across the map as we speak. He did open up a Stalker Sentry into another 2 Stalkers. Another pair on the way. So here he is being aggressive as he can with 2 gates. Setting up for the proxy pylon. Even going for hallucinations. Okay. Yeah, so far so good. Here he commits. He's tanking shots. Now going for the sentry. Ooh, sentry goes down. Yeah, sentry does fall. The hallucinations, they tanked a lot of shots. Did their job. But there's the NG overcharge. Yeah, NG overcharge. Hero is being shot down. Losing both stalkers. He will get the sentry at least. Does get the sentry. Oof. Picks up the sentry. Here he does have momentum though. Sentry goes down. Here is still coming in, warping in across over the slow warp, and even getting his own shield battery. Oh no! Oh my god. Is it going to be enough? Boys are being pulled. The battery is now up. Here he's got 4 stalkers. And here he looks like he's barely going to overwhelm. And again, the MVP sentry, the MVP hallucinations. Did I speak too soon? The Immortal. The Immortal's out. It's just one though. Immortals are good. Are they that good? They're pretty good. gets all 4. Jesus. Oh my god. The one Immortal takes on 4 stalkers. Classic is holding on. Yeah, he holds here defends, and Classic, he gets away with a better economy. 33 probes to 28 workers for Hero. Remember, this was supposed to kill, by the way. This was meant to kill. This is meant to end the game. It failed to do so. So Hero, he's behind economically. Hero, he's behind when it comes to tech. The Twilight Council just now finishing up. And Classic, he will be able to maintain his lead. He's just going to chill here on 2 bases. From here, we expect to see a Twilight Council into Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adepts would be the logical choice here from Classic, as he is prioritizing his Immortal count. We'll see. The other option would be Charge. Both can fare well with Immortals, as one Adept is caught. That's cash on the Adept. Oh. Kills a probe. Does at least catch a probe. Twilight Council is now done. Show us what you got. Charge, Glaives, or Blink. That's now Classic is warping in. He actually doesn't have the money to start any upgrade. Yes, he got the Twilight Council, but he's just going to commit across the map. He smells blood in the water. I mean, true, there's no Blink, there's no Immortals. Force fields will be key here. He does lock down the army though. Okay, he zones away the Immortals. Oh no! A bit of miscontrol. Yeah, Miss Rally losing one of those Stalkers. Messy engage here from Classic. The boys are being pulled, the Immortals are moving in. Classic, you know, he's so close to breaking Hero. And he is close. Oh! Does force on the ramp, zones Hero away. Catching up the Stalkers. Oh, diving on the Prism. Okay, Prism goes down. The Immortals are on their own. They're on their own. Nice force field. Looks like one Immortal should get picked up. Gets one. And, oh, won't quite get the other though. The boys doing well for themselves, with so many probes are dying. This Classic, he just wants to trade out, reinforcing with Adepts. Final Immortal falls. But that's going to be 21 probe kills. There's no economy, baby. And it was Glaives, as we mentioned. Like, this was the logical conclusion here, just because Mass Immortal into Glaives is a very common 2-base all-in. Classic, very fond of it. The purpose of this, Glaive Adepts, they don't scale well into a longer game, but this isn't going to be a longer game. Like, it's like, what? We're not macroing out of this, Pappy. We're committing. Adepts are moving out. Shading towards the main. Back at home here, he's down to 36 workers. Again, not even 2 base saturation. Let's say shade into the natural. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting up to 5 probes. Can we get 6? Oh, barely not. 5 workers go down. And that isn't the best trade for Classic, considering that was 4 adepts, but specifically because herO already has a stifled economy, I mean, it means how much more. Because herO, he's still just stumbling his way into a longer game. He's still stumbling his way into his economy. 37 probes. More adepts are moving in. Oh, nice catch from herO. Very nice. hero's moving out. He does have Blink. Blink is the one advantage that herO has. So he has micro potential with those stalkers. herO pushing into the third. Diving into the middle line. It is going to be a one-way trip here. Oh. Unless he can blink away and recall. Meanwhile, no, Adepts, they get back in. They get back into the natural. Not like this. Adepts, they pull away, catching out a couple of probes. Here is still looking for damage. Here he's desperate for damage. Lassie gets surrounded. There's the recall with the stalkers. We have 4 stalkers left. There's the recall back home, but this is still not worth of a herO, losing far too much. Another stalker goes down. Saving 3 stalkers at the end. And again, hero's on his last legs. He has been for a long time. Just the defense at his natural was just too brutal. He just lost far too many probes. That was what, 21 plus probes going down. It's critical damage. And here he was unable to recover. And we're going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade. Classic, he does send everything across the map. So does herO. But there's a defensive immortal. And with that, Classic isn't going to be able to hold on. Classic, he defends, he attacks, he gets across the map. Once again, takes down the middle line. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's WardiTV Monday champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Classic. He will take it 3-1. Again, a very chaotic series is what I will say, and honestly, he could have 3-0'd. Like, I'm still thinking about game 3 where Classic, he did overextend, he was making mistakes, he was just being overly greedy and overly aggressive, and Classic, he lost his lead multiple times in game 3 that gave herO a chance in this series, but alas, here in game number 4, we saw that herO, he did not probe scouts. Remember, he didn't probe scouts. What occurred this game, Classic went for a very greedy build, herO didn't probe scouts, so Classic got away with a greater economy. He was ahead economically, and he was always ahead economically this entire game. He also went for a robo follow-up, so he went into immortal production. He was able to shut down the attempted aggression from herO and then punish him back at home. herO went for a late Twilight Council, late tech because of all the early game gateway aggression, and he failed to kill Classic. GG. Failed to kill him. From there, he fell behind, he stayed behind, and Classic was able to snowball out of control from there. GG, well played. Congratulations to Classic, as herO may have won in RSL, but Classic, hey, he wins in the WardiTV Monday. So GG, well played. Whew. As I believe this was our first WardiTV Monday of 2026, by the way, Pappy. Yeah. GG, well played. So congratulations to Classic, and if you enjoyed the broadcast, if you want more of this is a weekly tournament every single week, every single Monday. We are live here with the WardiTV Monday. Of course, we'll be back next week as well with WardiTV Monday number 68. There is someone saying in the chat, and yes, for those that are unaware, if you look at the title of the stream, it does say replay cast in the title. It is whenever we do have a replay cast, it is stated in the title. This was last week's tournament, as we do cast these weeklies a week after the fact. The reason for this is because due to daylight savings, the WardiTV Monday now starts really late. It starts at 11 p.m. here in Australia and it ends at around 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, and it's very, very late. So a bit of a feels bad, man. A little bit of feels bad, man. But due to daylight savings, it starts very, very late for us here in Australia. So we have stopped casting it live, and now we cover it via replays instead. Once daylight savings hits again, or when it ends, I should say, we'll probably go back to casting it live. But until then, replays. Until then, via replays. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, happy New Year's, as this was our first WardiTV Monday cast of the year. And I do apologize if you've been watching over on YouTube. Again, the YouTube stream has been very unstable. It went down 3 times. 3 different times it went down. What can I do? What can I do about it, man? What can I do? So we'll have to try to look into what is going on there. So my apologies. We might end up doing a bit of a catch-up stream on YouTube specifically to rebroadcast these casts. Might be doing that later. Meanwhile, just catching up on our weekly schedule here. This is last week's schedule, do apologize. But we were live with the WardiTV Monday today. Tomorrow, in around 9 hours time. In 9 hours time, we're going to be live with the Patch Clash Invitational. That is a tournament that runs on a specific balance patch mod. So it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is an 8-player invitational, 8 different players. Single elimination brackets with a 3rd place match. It is going to be featuring players like Inexorable, like Mixu, Chanchito. Pig is going to be waking up for that one. Oh my god. okay. And many others. So that is going to be this morning in around 9 hours time. I will do my best to wake up in time for it. I'll do my best. I'm going to be probably running off of like 3 hours of sleep, so we'll do what we can. It'll be an experience for sure. It'll be an experience. But it's a unique balance mod, which does have a lot of changes. It's very extreme when it comes to its changes. I think, for example, it does have like a hive tech upgrade, which does allow roaches to be 1 supply, for example. It brings back the infested Terran. Everything gets changed. Like I say everything. Like there's just so many changes, so many upgrades have been added as well. It's quite a lot to take in. I think there's like a late game like Reaper upgrade on like the Ghost Academy or something. The Ghost itself has been changed. Nukes, Widowmines, Hellbats. Hellbats are no longer biological, so they can't be healed by Medivacs, for example. Cyclones have been changed. Like just everything. It's all crazy, man. It's all crazy. So because that's going to be a little bit overwhelming when it comes to trying to even cast the game and trying to like get a handle on all the changes on all the units. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be a messy cast, but we'll have fun with it. We'll have fun with it. Remember to fix the YouTube setup by switching the server basically. Yeah, I'll do that right after this. I'll try to fix the YouTube issue. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you had a great New Year's. I hope you had a great time, and we'll see you guys in 9 hours for the Patch Clash Invitational. That should be the last cast of the week. We should be back on the weekend for some more StarCraft. Again, this week we're going to be leaving very, very open. The reason for this is because, for those that are a little bit unaware, recently did get some pet bunnies recently, a couple of months ago I should say, and on the 7th of January, so this Wednesday, they are going to get fixed. They're going to get spayed. They're going to be desexed, and it's going to be a very, very stressful time is what I will say. So I'm going to be looking at make sure they're eating, gonna make sure they don't open up their sutures or anything like that, and it's gonna be a really intense couple of weeks. I think it's around 10 days, like 10 to 14 days of recovery, and yeah, so I'm a little bit stressed out about it, but hopefully everything goes well. Hopefully there's no complications. The biggest issue is that because of the pain that they're in, they might stop eating, and if that happens, I have to like force feed them basically. Like I have like syringes and like the equivalent of like baby formula to like make sure that they eat. It is not uncommon for that to happen, so yeah, to make sure that they're okay. So yeah, it's gonna be an intense 10 days. So because of that, we are gonna be being a little bit leaner, a little bit lighter when it comes to the cast over the next week. So again, in 9 hours we'll be live, and that'll be the last cast until the weekend. And even then, we're gonna be taking it a little bit easy, as the weekend is gonna be the return of the podcast. The podcast. So we'll be taking it easy. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you want some more StarCraft, Wardy is about to go live with this week's WardiTV Monday, and sort of is laddering on his own channel as well. So give him some love, give him some support. Again, there's plenty of other people streaming, so give them some support when it comes to StarCraft. Otherwise, we'll see you guys again either tomorrow or over the weekend. Thanks for watching. Do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time. Ciao, bye, ciao. See you next time.